Awareness is your upgrade. That's what we're going to be talking about today. I think I'm going to title the video, Why You Can't Be Spiritually Harmed and Why Your Awareness is Your Upgrade. Have you ever had a dream that didn't really scare you, but it made you pay attention? Like it wasn't a warning, more like a message? That's what happened to me recently, and that's what sparked this message. I had a dream that my whole body had broken out in a rash. Not itching, not burning, not terrifying. I was just aware that something was happening to my skin. And that dream opened the door for one of the most powerful revelations I've ever had about manipulation, spiritual fear, projection, even witchcraft, and what the word supernatural really means. So today we're upgrading your understanding on a few of those topics. If you haven't been here before, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. And you already know that I share some of my dream experiences and how I interpret my dreams and how I use those messages in my day-to-day life. I've also shared that dreams speak in symbols most of the time. So in this dream, the rash didn't really mean, it wasn't really about a sickness. A rash could be about something rising to the surface, a truth, an irritation, a boundary, something that your spirit refuses to ignore anymore. The dream was my awareness waking up. And for a lot of you watching this, your awareness is waking up as well. My first thought, now in the past, I probably would have thought, somebody wishing harm on me, or somebody speaking something bad over me, or somebody spiritually trying something. Now, I know I'm not the only one. In a lot of communities all over the world, we grew up in environments where people actually believed that someone could curse you, hex you, pray against you, send energy at you, or steal your blessings. But here's the truth that nobody really explained to us, and nobody really explains it now either. No one can spiritually harm you without your agreement. And I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna explain. They can't spiritually harm you without your agreement, not even through witchcraft, voodoo, evil eye, because I know everybody got these evil eye necklaces and they're talking about evil eye this and evil eye that, but nobody can spiritually harm you without your agreement, not even evil eye. Prayers, not even prayers, rituals, nor spells. Nothing can enter your life without your belief in its power. Manipulation doesn't work because of their strength. It works because of your unawareness. Awareness is not a weakness. It's just the part of you that hasn't upgraded yet. See, you're not giving away your power. You're just unaware. This part right here, it changes your whole mindset. I know it changed my whole mindset. In the past, I wasn't giving away my power. I wasn't being controlled. I wasn't weak. I was unaware. Very unaware. And when you're unaware, you don't know yourself deeply. So you can't really tell the difference between your truth and someone else's projection. So if you're unaware, manipulation lands, guilt strikes hard, and people's opinion will feel heavy. And the emotional pressure around you will work, not because it's powerful, but because there's a disconnect from self-awareness. But the moment awareness comes in, other people's influence breaks. And that's just cause and effect, I guess. I think that's what supernatural really means. Supernatural does not mean spooky, strange, demonic, ghostly, or something dangerous like we've been taught or what we've been seeing in movies. So let me upgrade you on this word, supernatural. It means exactly what it is, what it says, what you see. Supernatural. More than ordinary, beyond the common, above average perception. It's heightened intuition, deep clarity, seeing beneath the surface, knowing things without being told. Another example would be picking up on the truth through patterns, recognizing emotional signatures. Another example would be sensing manipulation before it reaches you. That is the real definition of supernatural. It's not magic. It's just awareness. I know some of you are probably asking what activities can you do or what activates your supernatural perception? How do you become supernatural? And I'm going to just say this, to be honest, I don't think everybody has the ability to become supernatural. That's why some people are chosen and some people are not. What triggers an upgrade? It's not crystals. It's not rituals. It's not books. I think it's safe to say it's life. But there's probably activities that you do in your day-to-day life that activates supernatural perception in the people that are just gifted to have those supernatural abilities or supernatural perception. It may not seem like a gift because what activates supernatural perception in real people is trauma. That's the main thing. Trauma, heartbreak, betrayal, emotional overload, being in survival mode, abandonment, isolation, being lied on, being blindsided. Childhood hypervigilance is a big one. Cycles repeating, living in a loop. Having some type of awakening experiences. Boundaries forming. Divine timing. Y'all see why everybody doesn't have the ability to have these supernatural gifts or have supernatural perception? Even remembering who you are activates supernatural perception. And deciding you won't stay blind anymore. Not everybody has the ability to, first of all, experience any of these and actually keep going. I'll just say it like that. So, these moments turn your perception on. Your mind upgrades, your spirit upgrades, your boundaries upgrade, your discernment upgrades. Everything in you steps into the next level. But not everybody goes through these things, so that's why not everybody is chosen. Everybody want to be chosen. We live in a society where everybody's talking about they're chosen. Everybody is not chosen. Now let's talk about how spiritual manipulation really works, because nobody really talks about how spiritual manipulation really works. I'm going to try to put this as plainly as I can. Most spiritual attacks are just psychological setups. It's not magic. They operate through fear, suggestion, projection, belief, and internalization. Nobody needs power. They just need access to your attention. Think about the entertainment world. Think about television, the radio, and how they have gained access to the attention of the young population in a negative way. It's the same thing. They don't need power. They just need access to your attention. What you pay attention to can cost you. That's why the enemy isn't strong. The enemy is strategic. I think there's a Bible scripture that talks about the craftiness of the enemy. People use guilt, shame, intimidation, fear-based language, emotional pressure, lies, and spiritual manipulation to get you to believe something about yourself that probably isn't true. But once you upgrade your awareness, the spell is broken. Literally, the truth breaks the spell. You don't feel guilty anymore. You don't feel shame. You don't feel intimidated. You're not fearing anything anymore. You're not under any emotional pressure because you've been lied to. And there is no spiritual manipulation. Why? Because you're aware and you have the truth about yourself, about your surroundings, and about everything that you've been taught. That's the upgrade. This is where God steps in. The upgrade is emotional clarity, spiritual sight, mental strength, the ability to be stable, identity, stability, divine alignment, self-knowledge, know thyself, discernment, boundaries. Don't you know when you upgrade your awareness, you're not afraid to set boundaries anymore? Your inner authority begins to grow. You begin to feel more peaceful when you learn the truth. The upgrade is truth and spirit. Intuition. Your intuition is heightened. Your confidence is increased. And you have a clean mind. When your awareness upgrades, your vulnerability seems to just disappear. People can't access you in the same way. Fear can't trick you. Manipulation can't land, and projection seems to just bounce off. Lies don't even reach your spirit anymore. Your whole system steps into a divine intelligence. That's the upgrade God gives. This is why I decided to name my channel Upgrade with Yah. Upgrade with God. So, a rash in a dream prompted this message. And a rash in a dream didn't just mean an illness like I probably would have thought in the past. It meant awakening. It meant truth rising to the surface. It meant I couldn't be manipulated the same way ever again. Your dreams will tell you when the upgrade has begun. If that's your destiny, if that's what your dreams do, I don't know. I'm just, I'm not saying everybody have the gift of seeing things in their dreams, but I honestly do think that our dreams tell us things that's going on around us. And once you wake up, no one can spiritually touch you. No one can project into your life. No one can override your destiny, and no one can speak against what God ordained. Welcome to your upgrade. I'm Bridget. This is Upgrade with Yah, and I will see you guys in the next video. Now, before I close out, I wanted to share something. I finally asked my mom one day, why didn't y'all tell us things that y'all experienced growing up? Why didn't y'all talk about what you saw, like what you experienced, what our family practiced or dealt with in the past, right? Especially knowing that on my mom's side, well, I think on both sides of my family, there were things practiced that they don't really talk about. It's kind of kept a secret. And her answer told me everything that I needed to know. She said, we weren't allowed to talk. We were raised to keep our mouth shut. Don't talk about grown folks' business. Don't talk about anything spiritual. They didn't really talk about anything spiritual unless it had something to do with church. And they really didn't talk about that unless the pastor brought it up. And the main one, don't tell what goes on in your house. You know, I know y'all probably can relate to that. And that silence kept our generation blind. Not weak, but blind. I said that right. It kept our generation blind. Blind to manipulation, blind to projection, blind to supernatural things, spiritual fear, blind to our growth, and blind to our own gifts. But we're the generation of Emmanuel. We're the generation that breaks the silence. We're the ones who upgrade. We're the ones who would see things clearly. We're the ones who no longer fear what we were never taught to understand. And that's why this message matters. Welcome to the upgrade.